What's going on YouTube? Masex back with another video. We're going to be taking a look today at some ballers, man. We're transitioning over to college football in this video. You guys really seem to love the college football content. I've definitely taken notice of that. So here you go. But we're going to be looking at 5 college players that you need to be paying attention to in the 2023 season. Now, of the 5, I think that each has their own individual story. Now, if you clicked on this video, chances are you're a football fan. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'll deeply appreciate it, and it's very quick, easy, and it's free to do. But without wasting any further time, let's get to it. All right, so my first college player you need to be paying attention to, that's Shedeur Sanders, playing at Colorado this year, listed at 6'2", 215 pounds. Sanders was the class of 2021, went to Trinity Christian High School in Cedar Hills, Texas. Was a 4-star recruit, according to 24/7. He had a composite score ranking of .9126. Shedeur Sanders, how did he get here? He started his college career in 2021-2022 at Jackson State, playing in the SWAC. As a true freshman, threw for 3,231 yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Sophomore year improved on those numbers, 40 touchdown passes to only 6 interceptions. He also improved as a rusher as well in that skill set department, adding an additional 173 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns on the ground. So after the 2022 bowl game loss, Sanders followed his very popular father, Deion Sanders, who infamously left Jackson State for Colorado. Of course, we all predicted Shedeur Sanders would be doing the same. Now, with all the preseason hype he and his father have created all over the nation, all eyes will be on Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. A few months ago, after a packed-out spring game, I believe it was April, we witnessed nothing but proof that Colorado has a very crazy expectation level from, it seems like, everyone. I believe it was the most attendees to a spring game in over 15-20 years. And that's after finishing last season worst in the Pac-12 with a 1-11 record. Can Shedeur Sanders ball out as he upgrades to a Power 5 conference? We shall see. But me personally, just watching him in the SWAC for 2 years, yes, he will be playing greater competition, but I think he and Colorado will rise to the occasion. On a personal level, I think he's going to dime the ball around and he's going to have a really good individual season. Now, I'm not talking about Colorado as a whole, but Shedeur Sanders individually, I think, will take his game to the next level. Next guy you need to pay attention to is cornerback Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, listed at 6'1", 207 pounds. Also class of 2021, went to Battle Creek Ida Grove High School in Ida Grove, Iowa. Now, DeJean was a 4-star recruit, according to 24/7 Sports. Also had a composite score of .8950. After doing some research on DeJean's high school resume, it's very impressive. He actually played 3 different sports, and in football, he excelled at multiple positions. As a true freshman at Iowa, he did play sparingly, but he definitely broke out as a sophomore this past season. Last year, as a sophomore, he tallied 75 total tackles, 5 interceptions, in which he took 3 of those to the house. Cooper DeJean is a jack of many trades. He's placed all over the defense. He's also really good in special teams as a returner, so he adds even more value there. And if you're taking 3 interceptions to the house, that means you're pretty good with the ball in your hand. So it wouldn't shock me at all if Iowa also gives him snaps on the offensive end next year. I wouldn't be shocked at all. He's a Swiss Army knife, and because he can do so much, he honestly, to me, could very well be one of the best, if not the best, defensive back in the nation next year. Okay, and next up we have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out of Clemson, listed at 6 foot, 230 pounds, class of 2021, went to St. Joseph's High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Very prestigious high school, by the way. Trotter Jr. was a 4-star recruit, according to 24/7, was a .9818 composite score. He's also the son of Jeremiah Trotter Sr., an Eagles great linebacker. Now, Trotter Jr. as a true freshman played sparingly, as you'd expect coming from a program like Clemson, but He definitely broke out as a sophomore. Had 89 total tackles, 6.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. Has good size, 6 foot 230 in the modern game. Has the ideal size that you want to see roam around in the middle of the field. Trotter Jr. is very instinctive, very disciplined. He plays like a veteran even though he was 19 years old last year in the ACC. Has a very good feel for the game. I watch on tape, he's very elusive, he evades blocks, and he's reliable and technically sound when it comes to wrapping up ball carriers and getting them to the ground. In the modern era, linebackers don't have the stock like you'd see 20 years ago when it comes to the draft, but I think Trotter's definitely a day one pick, and it wouldn't surprise me if a linebacker like him goes in the first 15 picks in 2024. Next up, we have running back Quinshon Judkins out of Ole Miss, listed at 5'11", 210 pounds. Judkins, class of 2022, went to Pike Road High School in Pike Road, Alabama. He's the only freshman on this list. He was a 3-star recruit, according to 24/7. He had a composite score of .8804. And man, as an 18-year-old true freshman, he broke out in the SEC. As a freshman, he rushed for 1,567 yards and 16 scores. Added another 15 snacks for 132 yards and an additional receiving touchdown through the air. Judkins, as I mentioned, broke out right away, which wasn't originally expected, especially with former 5-star Zach Evans transferring to Ole Miss. He was expected to take the keys and take majority of the workload at the running back position for Ole Miss. Judkins went on, as some of you may know, balled out for Ole Miss. Judkins won SEC Freshman of the Year, and he led all freshmen in rushing yards. And at the listed size of 210 pounds, Judkins already has the size to handle the workload. Theoretically, will continue to get bigger, stronger, faster as he gets older. I watched him display a second gear once he breaks into the open field. Now, with Zach Evans going to the NFL, I honestly see Judkins as a dark horse Heisman candidate next year, and that's no hyperbole. All right, last on this list, you need to pay attention to quarterback Kyle McCord out of Ohio State. McCord was listed at 6'3", 215 pounds, class of 2021, and also went to St. Joseph High School in Pennsylvania. According to 24/7 Sports, McCord was a 4-star recruit with a composite score of .9858. Now, McCord is a projection quarterback. He only has 58 career passing attempts to this point, but that's for good reason. He sat behind the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft, C.J. Stroud, for 2 years. Now, McCord, I expect first and foremost to win the starting job over Devin Brown, and though this will be his first year as the starting quarterback for Ohio State, I myself expect him to relatively hit the ground running. Every year, pretty much at Ohio State, they're going to be loaded on offense. They're going to have the grade A offensive line. He has Travion Henderson in the backfield, who is expected by many to be the first running back taken in next year's draft, and 2 potential first-round picks in next year's draft as well, Emeka Egbuka, and maybe a top 3 pick in Marvin Harrison Jr., who, fun fact, also went to St. Joseph's High School. McCord's not a dual threat like we've seen at Ohio State the last few years. He's more of your classic drop back pocket passer, but he can definitely spin that ball. Ball placement in limited snaps looks very accurate, and I really like his touch on deep pass. I expect some good numbers, not necessarily CJ Stroud numbers, but from Kyle McCord, remember who said it first when he balls this year. All right, so these are my 5 college players that you need to pay attention to in 2023 because they are going to ball out. Some of them have already balled out, and I think that they're going to take that next step even further. And then others have gotten limited opportunities, but I feel into this new role that they're going to have, more of a workload, they're going to ball out and wake some people up who's been sleeping on them. But I talked about 5 today. I want to hear you guys' opinions in the comments. Tell me some other guys that are being slept on that maybe you're excited to see and that we need to pay attention to. And if you made it this far in the video, I deeply appreciate it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to this video. I just mentioned that we're on the way to 1K, and I can't do that without you guys helping and supporting me. Hope y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video.